So the news here is that we have over 90 CEOs who put their names to a fairly comprehensive and detailed outline of what the future successor to Kyoto should look like, the New Deal on climate change. This is the first time that such a group of CEOs has been assembled. They represent pretty much every sector of the global economy and come from a wide range of geographies around the world. Many of them are industry or strategic partners of the World Economic Forum, and I'm also pleased to say that we've done this in collaboration with the World Business Council on Sustainable Development. So some of these CEOs are also members of the Energy and Climate Focus Area of the Business Council's work.
You say this is a new deal on climate, meant to be a post-Kyoto document. Why is business getting involved on this issue?
It's really important that there's certainty moving from 2012, when the Kyoto Protocol ends, into the new space. Everyone knows that we really do need a comprehensive and successful framework for climate change. The business community really do need clear regulatory guidance. They do need long-term certainty, and they need a comprehensive agreement such that every country in the world is part of it to make investments happen and to make their activities easier and more appropriate. Also, because everyone recognises that this is a long-term problem, we really do need a smart solution that will help us avoid the dangerous climate change which the IPCC and other scientists are telling us we might have by perhaps 2050 if we're not careful.
And what impact do you think this document and these CEOs coming together will actually have on the G8 discussions in Japan?
The fact that there is an international group of CEOs who've put their names to a fairly comprehensive design for what could succeed Kyoto is very important in itself. This is a significant change in the global uptake of desire to create ideas about what the future to Kyoto should look like from the business community. We represent a collection of CEOs from around the world, and this really is a global problem that increasingly the global business community sees that they can offer leadership and ideas, and more importantly practical and pragmatic advice to governments on how to come up with the design of the new framework.
So can you give us a bit more detail about some of who these CEOs are and some of the recommendations that they've made?
Sure. We have a steer board who've led the process over the past 16 months, and these include companies such as Petrobras from Brazil, Eskom from South Africa, Shell from the UK and Netherlands, Duke Energy from the US, Deutsche Bank from Germany. In terms of a range of the CEOs who've supported and endorsed the framework that the steer board has helped to create, includes companies such as Hindustan and Reliance from India, Pemex from Mexico, Petronas from Malaysia. So a wide range of companies, as well as many leading brands from Europe and the US. Some of the main highlights, if you like, from the document that they've put together include a reaffirmation that really a 50% reduction in global greenhouse gas emissions by 2050 should be a clear aspiration for this new framework. That supports the outcomes of last year's G8 summit in Germany, and is really suggesting that the G8 leaders should show leadership and really start to drive home some of these long-term targets in the international policy space. As well as that, there's very pragmatic ideas for many different parts of the design process for the new framework. For example, to create an effective and practical and cost-effective short-term target, there's a suggestion that the international business community can work with government to identify where those most cost-effective abatement potentials lie, how they might all add up to an appropriate short-run target, and how public-private partnerships in particular can be struck to start implementing them. Similarly, on a range of issues related to technology, licensing, related to financing, related to the development of common metrics to measure before one can manage the problem, related to a range of issues of this nature, there are a suite of very practical public-private initiatives which are set out to engage the business community and their competencies in helping to drive forward a very practical framework. Overall, I think the most significant element of this document is that it starts to marry if you like, a bottom-up approach from business and the practical challenges that they can see to meet a much more carbon-constrained world with some of the top-down or global aspirations which governments have. And in the bringing together of these two pieces, this is a significant evolution from perhaps where the Kyoto Protocol was, and can provide us with a very practical sense of hope that one can start to move towards the lower carbon economy that everyone aspires to.